Hello and welcome to It's All About You, the best show about you on the internet. I am B. Dave Walters, writer, life coach, talk radio host. This is episode number 76, Giving Thanks. Because as of the time of this writing, Thanksgiving is in 2 days. I'm recording this late on a Tuesday evening, right before I go live on my radio show. You know, my radio show broadcasts at 1 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, might be 9 a.m. now that we had the time zone shift. Actually, I think it is 9 a.m. now. So, I'm going to be going live soon, but by the time you see this, the radio will already be done. So, you can find recordings to all the episodes I've done on my fan page, or on my website that has links to everything I've done, including all these other videos, which is called about.me/B Dave Walters. So it's Thanksgiving, and we've talked about gratitude a few times now because, you know, it's kind of pretty foundational to the law of attraction and to really just having a happy life. And here in the United States, we have Thanksgiving, which is supposed to be commemorating when the Pilgrims came over to colonize this country, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they were kind of starving and dying, and the Native Americans saved them. And so Thanksgiving is supposed to be commemorating that, when the Native Americans shared their food and everything they had with the Pilgrims, which kind of unfortunately worked out poorly for the Native Americans, but for those of us who live in this country now, hey, good times. So thank you for your sacrifice. And for us here, now, it's supposed to make us think about what it is that we're thankful for. And unfortunately, as I've kind of gotten older, I see year in and year out, from around Thanksgiving through Christmas, which if you think are supposed to be like the holiest days of the year, because the big three in this country, maybe big four, are Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, and probably the 4th of July. Those are our big four holidays. And then I guess after that there's Memorial Day and Valentine's Day and Labor Day, but you don't get the day off for Valentine's Day. But for the most part, our biggest holidays are commemorating something that we're thankful for. Christmas is supposed to be about the birth of Jesus Christ to most people, including most Christians. I don't think it has anything to do with that anymore. Same thing, Easter is supposed to be commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. But again, if you're not a Christian, that doesn't mean anything. And then I think a lot of Christians only kind of just sort of pay lip service to it. But the point is, most of the days that we think of as sacred or holy days, holidays, are because we're supposed to be thankful for something. And I'd like to challenge you with two things. One, to revisit and reevaluate and think about the things that you are truly thankful for in this world, because I guarantee you there are several, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. And two, to realize that every day should be Thanksgiving in many ways. Every day should be. I mean, every day you should wake up thinking about what you're happy for. And we've talked about this on numerous occasions, that if the first thoughts that cross your mind are just taking a very small inventory of the things that you're really happy for. And this was something that I was first introduced to through Tony Robbins. I think it's a part of his Get the Edge program, actually. But I've read and listened to so much Tony Robbins, even I don't remember where it all came from now. But if you think about it, if the very first thing that you do, just like when you open your eyes in the morning, if you just think about, wow, I'm glad to wake up again. Because if you think about it, there's lots of people that go to bed every single night and do not wake up the next morning for one reason or another. And so if you just think, just off the top, hey, thank you, God, thanks to the universe, thanks to whatever you perceive as the supreme, just thank you that I'm awake. That's the first thing. And then just sort of go down the list. Thank you for my husband, my wife, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my children. The fact that I can see, I can hear, I can walk, I can talk, I can feel my toes, I can move my fingers. All of that are really big deals. And if you think it's not a big deal, just take a second to look at somebody who doesn't have that. Because you probably don't have to look too far for somebody who doesn't. And if you're not sure, go to your local hospital or pull up the internet and see that there's people that would wish they had what you had. Just tiny things, like 10 working fingers. Do you ever just stop to think, just when you think about things that you're grateful for, have you ever just thanked God or thanked the universe for thumbs? You ever think about that? You ever thought about the fact that we can do this is why human beings rule the world? Honestly, opposable grip. We can do that. No other animal can. Boop, 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 boop. Because we can do that. is why we are the primary species on Earth. Apes, they have thumbs, but it's kind of like this. Watch a chimpanzee's hand when they try and grab something. They grab it sort of like that, right? Which makes it harder to manipulate tools. Because we can manipulate tools, we can modify the environment. There you go. Here we are, the modern world. So thank you, God, for thumbs. I'm not going to talk for, 14 more minutes about being grateful for thumbs, but I could. Because if you think about it, the point I'm making, why I'm bringing this up, and I know I got big thumbs, see that? But the reason why I'm bringing this up is not just to give a thumbs up, but to tell you that it's the smallest things in life that really make the most substantial difference. The smallest things. That something so small as the fact that our thumb bends this way, instead of being stuck like this, is why we have everything. And there's little things in your life right now that are why you have everything and you're not really paying attention to them. Like I've mentioned this before. Like people talk a lot of times about, why we can't just see God, why we can't just hear angels, why we don't have this like vast cosmic knowledge, why we don't remember past lives, all these things that it seems like humanity is kind of like sealed off in this little like bubble of ignorance when we come into the world. And the reason why that is when we have things that are just given to us, it's human nature to completely take it for granted and not care about it at all. Like for instance, when was the last time you just stopped and thought, wow, I'm really thankful for air. For air. Because you know what? You can't live without it. You can't go more than about 2 minutes. And if you're like a superstar athlete, you might be able to go 5. But there's nobody in this world that can go without it for 20 or 30 minutes. You can go without food for weeks. You can go without water for days. You can go without air for minutes. See? It's all around you. Hey, I'm a little stuffed up, but I'm getting better. I'm almost there. You feel it. It's all around you. And that's why you don't appreciate it, because it's everywhere. And it's free. But think about that. Think about that. Just something so simple. That something that's absolutely pivotal for you to live has just been given to you for free. And you're just like, oh, well, good times. Same thing, your heart beats. Your heart beats without you thinking about it, right? Day in, day out, minute in, minute out, for your entire life. Your heart's been on duty since you were still in your mommy's womb. And it's going to be on duty until your last moments, right? But you ever think about that? You're just like, man, I'm really thankful that I just have a working, healthy heart. Because you know what? A lot of people don't. Heart disease. Actually, lung disease is the #1 killer. Heart disease is the second, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure more people die of lung disease than heart disease. But they're way up there. And when it's gone, you really realize how important it was. So what I'm inviting you to do is look at the things in your life that are big and small that you really have to give thanks for. That you can truly, from your heart and soul, say thank you for. And you don't have to wait until you lose it or until it's taken from you or until you're this close to losing it to say thank you. Those people in your life that you love that make a difference in your life, tell them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you appreciate them. Thank God for them. Thank the universe for them. Thank Buddha, Allah. However you conceive of the divine, give thanks from your heart for the people that are in your life. I tell everybody every single day that I love them. I tell my wife, I tell my kids I love them. I tell my coworkers I love them. Or just like little like pep talks, heads up, like I see them, I'm like, you're a champion, fantastic. You're beautiful, don't ever change. I want to be like you when I grow up. Just little things like that to let people know that you appreciate them, that you value them is huge. It's huge. And right now, I don't care where you are in the world. Those of us here in the United States, we have it better than everybody else on earth. That's true. In terms of just things that we just get. It's like you were just born here. Good times. Like we don't get free medicine. That's true. But in terms of like freedom and self-determination and the rights to just do things without limits, without being bogged down from just like centuries of culture and things that just like from the like 6th century that don't really fit anymore, but you're still stuck kind of living into. We don't have that. Culturally, we don't have like a really oppressive thing where like our parents make all the decisions for us. We don't have that. really heavy like religious restrictions where like we just have to do things a certain way because our book says so. We don't really have that either. You know, not really. I mean, we're kind of a Judeo-Christian country, but not really. You know, like you don't get beheaded and honor killings and set on fire for dishonoring people and stuff like that. So we're really lucky in that respect, right? But have you ever stopped to think wherever you are, how glad you are that you are where you are, right? Because we talk about this. I think it's a quote from Epicurus. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Because everything you have is something that was once only hoped for. Right? The car you've got, the house you've got, the relationship you've got, you know, all of these things that were one time, and you've heard me say this before, at one time you were wishing for, you were praying, you were like, oh God, just let me get the interview, please. I promise I'll go to church every Sunday for the rest of my life if you just let me get this job, right? And then it happened. And now fast forward a couple months, a couple years, maybe you're a little tired of it, a little over it, right? And all that excitement and joy that you had is worn off. But here's the thing. Anything you want, anything you are trying to create, anything you are trying to do, eventually will just make you feel like you feel right now. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? You wanted the car so bad, now you've got the car, you don't care. You want this other car so bad, when you get it, you won't care. That's why things are not the solution to happiness. When people say money can't buy happiness, this is why. This is why, okay? You can only provide happiness for yourself. It comes from within, right? And that's the irony of life. That's the irony of success. That once you're truly happy with, you know, your body how it is, your clothes how they are, your home how it is, your relationship how it is, that is the only time that you actually have created the space to create something better. Isn't that amazing? Because here in Los Angeles, I see it all the time. I see a lot of people that are successful on the surface, or they've achieved monetary success, or there's tasks they wanted to do or goals they had, and they did them. But because they're still dissatisfied internally, they're just as dissatisfied with that. And there's nothing sadder than seeing somebody who's climbed the mountain, who's achieved everything they ever wanted in life, and they're still miserable. Yeah. So, again, I invite you then to start looking at things from where you are right now, what you have, and who you are, and where you are, and truly give thanks for it from the bottom of your heart. Because no matter who you are, or where you are, or what you're dealing with, there's a lot of people in this world, millions of people, that would change places with you like that. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And you know we've talked about this. But if you didn't get shot at today, you're ahead of millions of people. If you didn't go hungry today, you're ahead of millions of people. If you can wear what you like, if you're a lady and you feel like showing off some skin and nobody hit you with a stick and called you a witch, you're ahead of a lot of people. You know? If you can go online or on TV and post how much you love Barack Obama or hate Barack Obama or love Mitt Romney or hate Mitt Romney, and nobody came to your door and kicked it in to drag you away, you're ahead of a lot of people. You know? If you go to work because it's where you choose to work. If you live where you live because it's where you choose to live and not because somebody told you you had to, you're ahead of a lot of people. If you just have your freedom, if you can walk outdoors, if you're not behind bars, if you don't have guards somewhere, if you're not in prison somewhere, you're ahead of a lot of people. If you're not sleeping on the sidewalk, you're ahead of a lot of people. If you have a computer where you can watch this video, even if it's not yours, even if you're at the library or borrowing it or something, you're ahead of billions of people. Do you understand that? Such little things. But you have to give thanks for them. Because you have so much to be thankful for. And I know you're dealing with things. I know you're dealing with things. Everybody's dealing with things. It's called life. Jesus Christ had problems. Buddha had problems. Right? The thing is, they didn't let that get them down. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's not that you're not going to have problems, because you will. They just won't bother you when you're so busy concentrating and thankful for what is working and what is going right. Does that make sense? So, we're going into this holiday season. And the reason why I said I think a lot of us have lost track of both Thanksgiving and Christmas is because it's become so much about materialism. I mean, it's no coincidence that the day after Thanksgiving is the biggest shopping day of the year. It's the same reason Mardi Gras is right before Lent. You have this crazy party and get it all out of your system before you go all monastic for a few weeks. Right? But I would invite you, starting this year, to sort of disconnect the holidays from materialism. Because I've gotten increasingly more disgusted with that over time. Because, Christmas is a really big deal, or supposed to be. For Christians, it symbolizes the day that redemption came into the world, that the way for us to truly reconnect with our Creator and to live forever in peace and harmony was made open for us. The fact that everything that we'd done wrong could be forgiven. That's a big deal. And even if you're not a Christian, it symbolizes a day of connection, of community, of union with the divine. What could be a bigger deal than that? What could be more important than that? And the whole point behind giving gifts was supposed to symbolize the fact that the three wise men brought Jesus gifts. And God gave us a gift. And therefore we would give each other gifts just to show that we cared. Like they did. But over time it's become more about the gifts and more about the things. And it's not even that people are appreciative and grateful for the things. It's more of a sense of obligation. It's not that I wish to do this because I want to show my family and friends how much I love them. It's I have to do this. And that's the wrong way to look at it. That's the wrong way to look at it. So, for my Christian brothers and sisters, I invite you to remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. And for my non-Christian brothers and sisters, I invite you to think of it as however you want to think of it. Almost every major religion has holidays around this time. Actually, almost every major religion has had holidays around this time since long before Christianity. Let's show you a secret. Jesus Christ was not the first God born on December 25th. And in fact, Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. He was actually born sometime in September. But why we celebrate it on December 25th is a question that we'll have to wait for another video because I'm almost out of time. But again, I thank God for you. I truly do. I truly, from the absolute bottom of my heart, thank God for you. And I hope that you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving and a safe and happy holiday season. And I hope that you start to focus your eyes on what is working. I hope that you start to focus your eyes and your mind and your heart and your will on the tremendous, tremendous, tremendous blessings that are happening for you and in your life all the time, all around you. Because you will always have more reasons to smile than you have reasons to cry. I guarantee it if you just open your eyes and see them. And if you don't know how, hit me up and I will help you. You can find me on Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, YouTube, formspring.me. All of those are /BDaveWalters. Or you have links to all of this stuff on my website, which is about.me /BDaveWalters. You are great, and I love you. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.